Good morning. This story came to me from my viewer Todd. He's also a really good friend of mine. And it's about sexualizing young women in high school today. This is really what it's about. It didn't start out that way, but what happened was in Bradenton, Florida, at, at Braden River High School, a 17-year-old young girl named Lizzie Martinez went to school like she does every day, and she was wearing an oversized shirt, much like I'm wearing today, and she wasn't wearing a bra. Okay, now I'm not wearing a bra. Can you tell? Can you see anything you shouldn't be seeing? Can you see anything that would distract a young boy? And why should it? Why should young boys be walking around high school looking at girls' breasts like they're unusual or something, like girls aren't supposed to have breasts? So anyway, what happened with Lizzie is one boy made a joke that a teacher heard. He made a joke maybe that her high beams were showing. I don't know. Basically that her nipples were showing through her t-shirt. And instead of reprimanding this boy for being an idiot, being raised in a barn, obviously, they called Lizzie out, took her to the dean's office, where the dean actually asked her to jump around the office because he said that she was breaking the dress code, that her wearing no bra with her t-shirt was a distraction to the other students, even though it was only one idiot, low class, obviously raised in a barn student that had a problem with Lizzie's outfit that day. Now look, I have spent a lot of time talking about the Me Too movement. And I have gotten a lot of subscribers on YouTube, especially because of my fairness. I will defend to the death any boy or man who is wrongfully accused of sexual harassment or rape. But this time, I don't know. I'm on the fence. We're not talking about the slut girls that we all know that bring mini skirts and halter tops in their backpacks to change in the girls' room and walk around the school hallways in order to attract attention from boys. This girl didn't do that. She simply is a small girl. I've seen a picture of her. She's tiny like I am. She doesn't wear a bra, so what? But the school felt differently. Not only did they make her jump around the dean's office, they sent her to the nurse's office, where the nurse gave her 4 Band-Aids and said, put these Band-Aids over your nipples and go back to class. Well, this young girl was mortified. And she hasn't been back to school since. She didn't go back to school. That's how mortified she is. And the boy who was looking at her breasts instead of her face or her eyes and made fun of her, nothing happened to him. That, my friends, was a lesson lost, because that young man should have been the one to be punished. Because look, let's face it, our girls today in our American society, for some reason, I don't know why, could be what they're eating, what's in the air, I don't know. They are maturing faster than their brains are, and apparently than boys' brains are. There are young women as young as 11 years old who wear a C-cup bra. They are well developed, voluptuous. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Breasts make a woman a woman. Look how many women fight when they get breast cancer to keep their breasts. Look how emotional it is for some women to lose their breasts when they get breast cancer. Breasts are natural. All women have them, especially in high school. So young boys and men need to be taught by their parents and by the school to respect women and their breasts. You don't make fun of someone. And this school dropped the ball in so many ways. Excuse me, my mail just arrived and my dog is greeting the mailman. Say hi to the mailman, Savannah. Thank you. Teachers should be teaching young men how to respect these women, not make fun of them. There is nothing wrong with a small-breasted woman not wearing a bra, or any woman for that matter, any girl not wearing a bra. I mean, what are we supposed to do now? In fact, this school, this Bradenton High School, is now thinking of changing the dress code because right now it just says you're not allowed to wear anything that causes a distraction. Well, I submit to you, Lizzie didn't cause a distraction. The school caused a distraction. One boy makes a joke, a teacher hears it, and all of a sudden Lizzie's pulled out of class and given 4 Band-Aids. That was the distraction, not the joke. The joke would have been gone in 60 seconds. Yeah, funny, walk away. The teacher overreacted, the dean overreacted, the nurse overreacted. And they overreacted because they punished Lizzie for something that is a natural part of her anatomy. And they didn't punish the boy for being stupid. We see all the time women who are overly sensitive. And I've reported about it. Not all sexual harassment is sexual harassment. Because to me, sexual harassment is clearly defined. Have sex with me or I fire you. Have sex with me or you don't get a raise. It's not, hey girl, you're looking good in that dress today. That's not sexual harassment. So we're not going to do that all over again. Because luckily that's kind of been out of the news recently. But this school is now talking about making part of their dress code that all girls must wear bras and panties to school. I'd like to know who's going to enforce that. Because if I were a parent, this is one of the reasons I'm not a parent, because again, there would be restraining orders against me if my kids were in public school. Okay, so I have a child, a young girl. She already has to walk through a metal detector every day as part of her normal routine because there are nutcases out there with AR-15s that like to shoot up schools. Now what is she going to have to do? Is she going to have to walk through an x-ray machine to make sure she's wearing her bra and panties? Or is a teacher going to have her stripped down to make sure she's wearing her bra and panties? Both scenarios, by the way, inappropriate, not cool, not good, not the school's business. I am going to go fair, because I always do. There are girls that dress for school in order to attract the attention of the opposite sex. They try to dress sexy for school. Okay? And for some reason, nobody seems to call them out. But they called Lizzie out. There are girls that purposely wear short skirts and tube tops and all kinds of weird stuff. They want to get attention. They wear their fuck me clothes to school. But that doesn't give any boy in that school the right to say, she wore that halter top to school today. She was asking for me to rape her. You will never hear political Paula say that. Absolutely not. Boys need to understand self-control, first of all. Whatever any woman or girl wears is not an invitation for a vicious attack on her body. If she says no, she means no, and it's no, and you stop. But let's face it. What Lizzie wore to school that day a few weeks ago, she was more covered up than what a lot of the girls are planning to wear at the prom, which the school is involved in. We see how girls dress for prom these days. They dress like they're going to the Oscars. Low-cut cleavage showing, halter, spaghetti straps. They're not wearing bras. Nobody's saying anything about that. So why was poor Lizzie called out? You know, this is kind of reverse psychology here, that it's okay to make fun of a woman's breasts, and the boy just walks away free and clear. It's ridiculous. I have another analogy that some may not appreciate, but I'm going to talk about the military here for a few seconds. When women started serving in the military, we started hearing about women who were sexually assaulted, laughed at, called names, sugar tits, and all kinds of things because men didn't want women serving with them in the military. Well, I've got news for you about that and about the brave women who have, by the way, volunteered to serve in the military. You men who are uncomfortable serving with women in the military, maybe you should talk to some of your high school buddies who at age 30 are living in their parents' basement, working minimum wage jobs. Ask them why they didn't volunteer to serve their country, to enlist and stand a post, to defend their nation, and instead choose to live off their parents at age 25, 30, and even 40 years old, working in the McDonald's or the Turkey Hill for the rest of their lives. Mommy still does their wash and cooks their dinners. Ask them why they never picked up a gun and stood a post. While these brave women are volunteering in droves, they want to serve their country. They pass boot camp, they pass all the same tests the women do, or the men do, and then they get tortured when they're serving. Not all of them, but there have been stories. There have been stories about the jokes, the sexual harassment, and yes, even rapes and assaults. Because the men just can't stand that they're serving their country next to a woman soldier. That for some reason, because she's got breasts and a vagina, she can't be a soldier. Well, women have proven that case wrong. And I can take you back to last week when that Southwest airline plane could have been much worse than only one dead. And the one dead is a tragedy. But that female pilot, guess where she learned how to fly the way she flew that plane and landed it safely? She learned in the Navy. The Air Force wouldn't take her. They don't take women pilots. But they took her in the Navy. And she learned to fly, and she saved a lot of lives last week. And she has breasts. And I bet no one's going to be making fun of her breasts anytime soon. This high school blew it. They blew it. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with Lizzie. I know she has not returned to school. She's embarrassed, as anybody would be. So I'd like to ask all of you what you think. What would you think if your child was sent home from school because she wasn't wearing a bra? What would you think if your daughter came home and said, "Look, Mom, the nurse gave me Band-Aids to put on my nipples"? What would you think? What would you do? What can you do? Because the school protects itself by saying it's got a dress code. And I say, the dress code doesn't insist that the boys cover their nipples. I mean, we can see boys' nipples through their t-shirts. Why is it okay for boys to show their nipples, but not a girl? I want to make sure I hit all the talking points. It was a very good article. It's on my timeline, by the way, if you want to read the entire thing. I will tell you one thing I noticed when I went back to read it today. That there had been a tweet from another student at the school that came from Facebook. There was a post, and Facebook removed it. It said it has been removed either by the person who wrote it or by Facebook themselves. And it was actually in support of Lizzie and in support of what she has done by bringing this out into the public. And I'm wondering why that was removed and who removed it. So remember this. Our children, and these aren't children, these are young adults. We're talking high school. 17, 18, 16, maybe 15 at the youngest in this high school. And we're not teaching them respect for each other's bodies. Boys laugh because a girl has breasts, and the girl gets punished because the boy saw her nipple through her t-shirt. And I'm going to do it again. Dudes, I'm not wearing a bra. I'm 54 years old. Should Lizzie have to wear a bra? Should Lizzie have to be strip searched every day to make sure she's got her bra and panties on? And will the boys be strip searched to make sure they're wearing underwear and those tight jeans they wear to show off their packages to all the girls and impress them with what they actually wish they had but really don't? I'm sorry, in this situation, I side with Lizzie. I'm on the girls' team for this one. I don't think it is up to a school that already has so much on its plate, like protecting children from mass murderers, teaching our children how to read, write, history, all the stuff they need to go to college, and there they can wear a bra or not anytime they feel like it. Schools have enough on their backs. They don't need to be the underwear police now. Can't wait to read the comments on this one. Thanks, Todd, for the article. It was an eye-opener. Political Paula, out.